I don't know how many people we're going to have in this barn tonight.
TBD.
Wild card weekend for us.
This is every bit of the wild card weekend. We are doing sports stuff with Jim and Muff, the regular show. And at the tail end of this, we will do sports stuff, betting stuff. The number one sports betting podcast coming out of the sports stuff with Jim and Muff Enterprise.
Ciao.
For the regular stuff here, obviously we don't have our guru of officiating with us at the moment, although he may be joining after his nice dinner at a well-established restaurant in the Wheeling area.
Yep.
I had to look that up. Looks pretty nice, actually.
I had to look that up.
I said it's a fancy one. I understand not wanting to miss that dinner.
I was only around those parts in college, so I would never have gone to something like that.
It probably wasn't. I don't know how old it is, but
it was not around
chance.
when he was in college.
Okay.
Not even a chance, Alex. Don't even try.
Well, I didn't want to be like that, say that, and then be like, "How old do you think I am?"
Dude, so I'm not that old.
See, this is what I was trying to avoid.
Okay. Today is Tuesday, January 13th, and wah, a lot has happened in the football world since last week. We're going to break down the college football playoff semifinals, chat about our thoughts headed into the college football playoff national championship, along with NFL wild card weekend. I don't think we call it super wild card weekend anymore, do we?
No, I think it's just wild card.
No.
Super wild card weekend is not a thing anymore, I don't think.
Yeah. Which did not end as well as hoped for some members of this podcast, while another member may be slightly elated with the outcome.
I feel like elated is probably a stretch.
Not
I feel like his NFL fandom doesn't allow for elatedness.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll see how that all panned out. Like I said, we're going to have our betting episode on the back end of this. So if that's what you're here for, just fast forward to about the last 20 minutes. Get your betting fix in from all of our betting degenerate discussions. And as always, thanks to everybody that's interacting with everything on the socials at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram, Twitter, Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding. Less than 10 left.
To
we
get
to
prizes.
100 subscribers.
Less than 10?
Less than 10, James.
Wow.
So what is less than 10? I mean, that's 9 through 1, right?
Less than 10.
You have to get on to look.
You have to get on to see where you fall in that category.
Crazy.
So, because we're going to get some prizes from Harper and Company.
Now, when we say prizes, we're not saying the next 9 people. What are we like? All 100 are can I have that shot at it?
Everybody that is a subscriber, whenever we get to 100, and if for some reason we get an influx of 10 to 20 before we get to draw the names, all of those 120 people would be in. So it's however many we have at that time. So I don't want to just limit it to the first 100. It's when we get to 100, whenever we make that happen, you're all in.
Gotcha.
If Nicole is smart and she really wants prizes, she would be peddling this at her places of work and be like, hey, pull up your YouTube really quick. Subscribe for me, because we would get to 100 quicker and she would have a chance at a prize quicker.
I tell you what, my boss's boss, every time he introduces me, he's like, this is Jim. He's one of my best. He does podcasts. And inevitably, I'm like, this is not the venue to do this, but okay. And the guy or lady that he introduces me to is always like, you podcast? What is your podcast about? I'm like, sports. And they're like, oh, local sports? I'm like, no, all sports. I get that all the time too. And they're like, what's the name of the podcast? And I'm like, Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff. And they always go, Muff. And I'm like, yes. And I have to explain the whole Muff thing. And I think we pick up a subscriber from that interaction every time. So I kind of feel like my boss's boss should get a shout out. I'm not going to do that because he's a jerk for doing that to me every time. But
at the same time, though,
is your boss's boss a subscriber?
Yes.
Well, they're in the drawing then.
I kind of want to avoid his because he does this
Nope.
to me every time.
Sounds positive for business.
Every
That's
time.
for business.
The podcast business, but not necessarily my actual job.
Well, what's more important, Jim?
You're right. You're right.
Jim's actual job. So
Oh yeah, I forgot. We all slack off work and do podcast things. He works. I forgot. I forgot.
Like we're opening new locations in Texas, and the head of this, I just met him yesterday, and boom, Jim does podcasts. I'm like, hey, man.
Well, that's good. We need to build up our Texas following now.
Right. So if we got a subscriber from Texas, hello.
the landmen up here. Let's make this happen. Yeah, I don't think I don't have that situation.
No, nobody introduces you.
I in fact avoid that at all costs based
Me
on the
too.
profession that I'm in.
Well,
Maybe that's why it's taking so long to get to 100. We should stop avoiding it.
Well, Alex has the end for that population. Let's be honest.
Let's get the
I'd
bar crowd.
say some things on here that maybe I shouldn't publicize.
That's
to some
right.
of them. I think it's not wanting to have to censor myself as much as I
We want it to happen naturally. If you stumble onto us, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, if they stumble onto me, they stumble onto me.
Right.
You don't want to promote yourself and then have to think about that when you're talking.
Exactly.
Nemi, what does this happen for you at work? Has anybody caught on?
Not yet. No, I'm
he's
hidden.
new.
I'm hidden. I like and share on Facebook and stuff. So
Well, I was like, I don't hide it necessarily.
People have to see it. So if they care, they'd ask. So
He's one of us.
Google Gobble, one of us. All right, let's get into it. NFL Wildcard Weekend. We're not going to bury the lead. The Steelers get absolutely dog walked by the Texans last night in Monday Night Football, 30
In the fourth quarter.
to 6.
In the fourth quarter.
You can say by the score, the fourth quarter was the deciding factor, but anybody that watched that game could easily tell after the first quarter that the Steelers were going to be in for an absolute dogfight.
I disagree. I thought the first half was still anybody's game. I was nervous.
I mean, the score
CJ
looked
was
like it, but
I thought CJ Stroud was going to give that sumbitch away that whole first half.
Stroud was keeping the Steelers in the game, that's for sure.
He was trying.
Right, he tried. He tried real hard. There were 3 turnovers there, and the Steelers got 3 points off of those 3 turnovers.
Yeah,
which is why I was on the other side of that thought of if we can't make it happen with these 3 turnovers, he's not going to do that the whole game. There's not going to be 6 turnovers in the game from CJ Stroud. That's not going to happen.
Nico got hurt.
Correct.
A lot of doors were opening there.
That's what we're saying, and they weren't taking advantage of them.
But I thought the second half, you'll go in, you'll turn some of this around. CJ's head was down towards the end of that first half. I was like, man, Steelers just got to catch some lightning in a bottle, and they'll come out and it'll be a dogfight.
They caught some lightning, but it wasn't in a bottle that led to touchdowns for them.
No.
Texans defense. Did you?
And then Joe woke me up and was like, hey, that was a blowout. I was like, what?
Are you done with Rodgers, Muff, and Alex?
Okay, we'll get to that real quick. Get to some basic stats here. Don't worry, we're getting to the end. Well, there's Tomlin. There's everything included, at least is the initial part of this discussion. Texans, the Steelers only mustered 175 total yards of offense. There's spot 1 there, Nemi, with a absolute picket fence offensive line. That the Texans were able to get pressure and stop the run with 4 rushers all night, which is another reason, if I'm going to support what I said to you, Jim, about this game, when that was happening early, I was like, they're not going to be able to get the ball down the field because Rodgers is not going to have enough time. He's not going to have more than 2 to 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Texans defense is by far the best in the league. Maybe one of the best we've seen in the short term in the NFL. So wouldn't feel too bad about, not being able to block their front 4. It's nasty.
yes and no. I mean, blocking them less, yes, but like there was nothing. I mean, they were just running into our guys, and our offensive linemen were just like falling over, like they were just getting hit. And, like,
Yeah, it was kind of
literally at one point, I watched the guy just get trucked, and they just kept going. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, so we had that. DK Metcalf's return from suspension didn't really do much for the Steelers, although he did lead the team with 42 receiving yards. So for whatever that's worth, of their 175. To this now, Nemi, many speculate this is Aaron Rodgers' last game. They did the whole, single ISO cam of him walking off the field, talking to, the greetings and the partings with all of the Texans players into the locker room, serendipitously with Marquez Valdez-Scantling towards the end, somebody he's known for a while. And his last pass, if this comes to fruition, would be an interception.
A pick
So,
six.
No, it was just an interception, wasn't it? That wasn't a pick six, I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, prove me wrong. I just don't remember it being a pick six.
Okay.
So, Nemi's question.
Hold on. I don't want to jump there yet. I have some other things I would like to ask before we go down that serendipitous road. If it isn't his last game, I don't know that I would want to be an offensive line for Aaron Rodgers. Like, I get you took a lot of hits, old man, and that was terrible. He is not nice to his offensive line. Like, he motherfucked them hard.
He's just entitled. He's just an entitled person that bitches at everybody and everything.
Okay. I have a lot of Aaron Rodgers hate, and I'll let you ride with that. But like, I would.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would block for him after a couple of them motherfucks. Like, I'd be like, all right, old man, it's cold. I'm doing the best I can. You're going to take one of these. You keep motherfucking me.
Yeah, his last pass was a pick six.
Okay. So,
I have another
question. Well, I was going to respond.
Okay, go ahead.
I was going to respond to what Nemi had said. It's entitled whenever you don't win the big games. When you win the big games, you're an intense personality that gets the most out of your teammates.
I land on both of you. I agree with both of you.
Right. There's a flip side to that coin if you're successful.
I agree with both. And I typically don't agree with Muff on the Rodgers, but I agree with both. Like, he comes out slinging it after he motherfucks the line, and it's like, oh, he's just intense. I agree with that. I still, as an offensive lineman, I'm letting one through after 3 or 4 times of catching his beratement. He's catching a bullet from me. Like, sorry, bud.
Hey, 5 offensive linemen plus a tight end and a running back. If you can't block 4 of them, guess what? You deserve to be motherfucked.
I agree, but like, there's only so much of that I'm going to take. Anyway, Jack Sawyer, and I mean this to the Yingers, and this is an Ohio State homer speaking to the Yingers. You guys obviously play foil to the Ohio State guy on this show. The season's over for the Yingers. What is your final evaluation of the rookie, Jack Sawyer?
I'll let Alex go first.
I think he had a fine rookie season. I mean, I don't have any major concerns. What about you, Muff?
Okay, so yes, when he saw the field and he was on the field, good things seemed to happen, whether he caused them or whether he was on the receiving end of it. Unfortunately, just the situation he is in, he is playing behind 2 elite defensive ends with Highsmith and Watt, and then you have Herbig sitting on the sideline there too. So, I mean, he's in a great position to learn and grow, and then year 3, like, walk right in, and if his growth and development continues, I'm not going to say a top guy, but be in the top third of the league at that position if he continues to grow like that. So, yeah, I have no qualms with his performance year 1 and what he did when he got on the field.
Okay, I wanted to, like, we banter back and forth on the Ohio homer thing, but, like, he is a decent NFL player.
Yeah,
he was a decent rookie. I don't know if we can say he's a decent NFL player yet.
Sure, rookie, fine. He's decent. Okay.
Are people saying he's not?
Muff kind of poo-pooed him.
No. I poo-poo the fact that you elevate him when he makes one play.
Okay. Now, proceed with the rest of your Steelers news.
All right, Aaron Rodgers. All of that being said, Alex, we'll start with you. Do you think Aaron Rodgers' time is done? And if it is not, do you think the Steelers should explore re-signing him?
My first leaning is to say I think it's done. Do I think they should re-sign him? No. I think that at this point, my thought was a 1-year experiment kind of thing. Like bring him in, see if he can get it done, have a little bit of leadership for the room with someone like Will Howard in it, and then move on. What I don't want to see is us not progressing as a team because we're just hanging on to like some old dudes. Like it was cool for 1 year, see what happens, but I think it's time to like start planning for the future.
And he got your coach. He got your coach fired, basically.
Because that's what he does.
No, he did not get the coach
He didn't
fired.
get the
Let's
coach
be
fired.
really honest here. If you're going to blame a single player for that, it is not Aaron Rodgers.
Technically, he stepped down.
Also true.
That's very nice of them. That's very nice of them to let him do that. That's very nice.
Well, that's it. That's the culture of it. We don't fire head coaches.
Yeah, that's also very. You barely fire offensive coordinators. We had Matt Canada, and somehow he escaped for a year and a half.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on that. I do think it was Aaron Rodgers' last game. I think he had said before the season even started, right? This is almost the way the contract is structured. This is not lending itself for me to explore another year and have to move around and do all this stuff. So I do think it was last. If he were to say he's going to come back, it does not benefit the Steelers with a coaching transition, with the unknowns of what they're going to do in the draft, to hold on to a quarterback who's a 1-year stint guy. They have been doing that for the past 5 to 7 years anyway. Post Roethlisberger, there has been no consistency at the quarterback position. It doesn't help you to continue to bring in hired mercenaries for 1 year or put them in on 2-year contracts. So no, I do not think it would be in the best interest of the Steelers to re-sign him. The free agency market in quarterbacks is not the best this offseason. The best they can hope to do is take a flyer on Malik Willis or draft somebody that's going to be just another experiment.
So are you disregarding Will Howard?
No, I'm not disregarding him. I'm just saying that if Will Howard was game ready, he would have been in the game first instead of Mason Rudolph, and he would have found some more playing time throughout this. I don't think he's ready to step in game 1 next year and help guide the Steelers to a positive season. I think he needs to year 3, if I'm being honest.
That was what I wanted. Like, what was your take on when he'll play, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, I think he needs to year 3. I think Sawyer could do it year 2 and be a serviceable defensive end, but again, the roster does not align for that. I think Will Howard needs 1 more year. He doesn't need the throw him out for the Browns did with Shedeur Sanders. I don't think that benefits Will Howard. I think he needs to be in a little bit more of a confident position to find success. So
reasonable.
There you go, Jim.
It also didn't work for Shedeur Sanders, but okay.
Exactly. So I don't want it to not work and to have a 6th round pick get tossed out there and not be prepared.
Okay.
So to Mike Tomlin, obviously we all know he stepped down as a Steelers head coach because of the resignation. If somebody would want to sign him as their head coach, they have to trade for him. It's part of the clauses that were in play.
When does that end? When does that?
I think it's his contract had 1 more year on it. So I think it's within this contract terms.
They already said he's not coaching next year.
Like this
next year, correct?
Tomlin said, "I'm not coaching next year."
Yeah, next year. So he's not going to put that situation in play. He's going to wind up in some, whether it's a booth or in a studio, he's going to be doing something. So the search is on, and we're going to get to the coaching carousel that is the NFL. But I do want to put this out there for any of the Tomlin haters, which I am not. I don't think Alex is a Tomlin hater.
No, I'm not a Tomlin hater.
He guided the Steelers to playoff berths and winning records with the following quarterbacks on the roster and playing significant time: Mitchell Trubisky, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Justin Fields, and Russ Wilson. All at times in their career and post where they have yet, many of them have not found starting jobs, let alone winning records on other teams. Yes, Jim?
It's just all about what do you want? Do you want to win games? Do you want to win playoff games? Do you want to win Super Bowls?
Well, no, I'm glad he's gone. Don't get me like I think it is time for change. I'm completely okay with that move, but I think that what I don't think is it would be fair to just be like, yeah, he was a terrible coach. I don't think that's true. I think it wasn't getting the job done anymore, so it is time to move on from it. But the fact that he did okay. He just wasn't getting over that hump to greatness anymore, and it was time to move on.
Yeah.
But I don't think I will never disparage him to say he was like a bad coach. I think it was just his time had run its course.
Yeah.
I mean, he won a Super Bowl.
Definitely not bad. There's bad coaches. He's not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he won a Super Bowl. He had winning seasons. He had playoff berths. He just hasn't won a playoff game lately. And that, to me, was the nail in the coffin. Like, I was like wishy-washy on how I felt about him staying or going. But, like, he can't win a playoff game. And there's just something there that's not clicking anymore. And it's time.
Yep.
Jim, final thoughts there?
Okay. I agree with Nemi and Alex take. Muff loading the deck with that obscure, very
That is the deck. That's not loading it. That is the deck.
That's objective.
I mean, congratulations. You got the playoff berth with those quarterbacks.
Other coaches aren't doing it.
Like, there's other surrounding, like, circumstances. Is Zach Taylor a better coach than Tomlin?
Is that a question or is this rhetorical?
I'm asking you.
No.
But he got farther in the playoffs than Tomlin did.
He's not consistent, but he also had Joe Burrow and
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins.
Yeah. Like,
when you're thinking of the offensive thought, Trey Hendrickson, right?
Yeah.
If you're looking at the pieces, and I will ask this,
but he's the only standing coach left this year in that division.
Yeah.
Because they have a franchise quarterback that they can lean on it, right? The coaches are always, not always, many times the fall guy for not having a franchise quarterback.
If Burrow was healthy all year and they finished with the record that they had, he would have been gone. But they gave him a pass because Burrow was out for 8 weeks or whatever it was.
And they're not really rebuilding anything. I feel like right now the Steelers don't want to rebuild with Tomlin. Like, it's time to, like, part ways and then rebuild with something fresh.
I guess my point here is, like, to say that he was strapped with these quarterbacks and he still got a playoff berth is kind of like you're leaving out some key details here.
What's the key detail?
Like,
name me a receiver since Ben Roethlisberger retired that they had to throw to.
Right, like
George Pickens.
So it's not necessarily.
That's about the only one you can think of, though, right?
He didn't block. He hurt us in other ways.
He's a head case.
So slanted, like, phrase this. The organization did not support, or the GMs or the offensive coordinators. Like, it's not necessarily like he did these great things in spite of the quarterback. He got to the playoffs with an organization that did not necessarily surround him with the right pieces.
Correct, and it starts with the quarterback, right? That's where everyone looks to first. Like, who is that franchise guy?
Maybe the organization needs more than, like, it needs to take a look at the way it does business, the culture that you guys love. And I agree that I do like the Steelers culture.
What culture is that, Jim?
The
kicking over punters and hitting people in the head and cheap shotting people?
Oh, dear.
I'm sorry, Browns fan, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
I thought you were talking about Urban Meyer.
I don't know why I'm catching bullets, but I'm talking about the, no showboaty, no big flair,
It's like blue collar tough.
maybe that needs to evolve.
I'm not going to go that far with the organization and the culture needs to evolve, but they're definitely. I do agree 100% full stop with the how you structure the players' contracts, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The defense side, that defense is the highest paid defense in the NFL, right? That they were serviceable, but they were not a high level defensive team. And that is where those offensive issues come into play because you, one, don't have a quarterback that's attracting high profile wide receivers. You don't have a quarterback that's bringing those pieces with them because who wants to play in an offense, and whether or not you like Arthur Smith or not, that is predicated on pre-snap movement and getting the ball in space to tight ends and taking shots every 10 to 15 snaps down the field with DK Metcalf. Like, that's the offensive strategy, and that's not something that's going to attract the number one wide receivers across the league. Many times, no matter who your quarterback is, like you might get one guy, but you're not going to get a stable like they have in Cincinnati with that type of offensive strategy.
No, it's not attractive to anybody to catch 4 passes for 45 yards every week, even if you win.
Right.
Their second best receiver was Gainwell. Basically, they threw him the ball like 7 to 8 times a game.
I think he was their leading receiver.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say he was better than Metcalf because that wasn't what I was going to say.
Well, no, I'm talking about yards, this stats, right? Leading receiver is your running back.
Yeah. I just contend that the game of football is not smash mouth.
Well, you can't. The rules don't allow it anymore. You can't.
And the Steelers have not
defenseless
evolved.
Receivers. You can't go at people's knees. You can't. They just took all that out of the game basically, and now it's spread them out and who's the fastest most of the time. Who can get to the quarterback the fastest? What's that?
The Steelers aren't doing that.
No, they're not. Well, that's what they're saying. They need to change the culture a little bit.
And the Browns aren't far behind them.
The Browns don't do anything well. They're not tough, or they don't do anything well.
And Cincinnati is all right. We got 3 guys that can do it, but we can't protect those 3 guys for shit.
Well, they keep taking receivers instead of taking O linemen. Which, if you remember correctly, that was why it was Jamar Chase that they were like, they don't need that guy. They need a lineman. Mind you, he's the top receiver in the league, but you gotta protect him at some point. A lot of these teams, and we'll go through a lot of these teams still in the playoffs have the highest. They spent the most money on their offensive line this offseason.
Yep.
Mind you, they have to stay healthy. The Chargers didn't spend a lot of money and they didn't stay healthy, but got to get lucky too.
Yeah. And that translates into college football as well, which we'll get to. All right. And the rest of the wild card weekend, we have the Rams 34, the Panthers 31. Those pesky Panthers do stick around in this one. Sure that many people that had Super Bowl futures bets had some big old tight bum holes on this one. Ultimately, though, the Rams do come out on top. Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua leading the way as you would expect. Although a unlikely receiving threat emerged in this game for the Panthers that wasn't Ted McMillan, as Jalen Coker had 134 yards receiving and a touchdown. He only had 33 receptions for 384 yards and 3 touchdowns during the regular season. So they pulled out all the stops on this one.
Get it to the hot hand.
The preseason football, Coker was like going off, and then he got hurt in like the last week of the preseason. And he was out for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and then they ramped him back up. So he was always supposed to be like a pretty good, like their number 2 receiver, not Leggett or not any of those guys. He was always supposed to be that number 2 to Tet. So finally, that was obviously more than number 2 receiver numbers, but he was playing really well.
Yeah. Other thoughts on here? Thoughts on the Rams? Does this say anything about them right now, or is this just, hey, they got into a tough game against the Panthers and they came out on top?
Their defense has been bad for like a month. They've been giving up points to everyone they've played for like a month, and that's scary in the playoffs. If you make a mistake or whatever and then you give up points right away, and you can get down quick. And yeah, you need defense in the playoffs, so they need to figure it out, or they could be out.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go with it. I was going to say their offense, I don't really have any concerns or anything. They look good, but defensively not great.
Yeah. Jim, final thoughts?
No, I'm good.
All right, with the Bills 27, the Jaguars 24. Josh Allen gets it done in Duval against the Jags. Has 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. Trevor Lawrence and the Jags can't continue their impressive season and the run they had been on up through the end of the season. Lawrence threw 2 picks. Do we still assess this as a successful season for the Jaguars? Start with Nemi.
I was gonna ask if we skip the Bears-Packers game, but maybe we'll do it after. But
We'll go back to it.
I will say, very good season from the Jags. Definitely better than anyone thought. Trevor Lawrence took a lot of steps in the right direction this year, but then again, he shows signs of bad play, some inconsistency. But last year he was just really bad, and people thought he was, people thought he was never going to figure it out again. And this year it seemed like they got Jacoby Myers and he took a step forward again. So no, I think the Jaguars are going in a very positive direction under their new GM and new coach. So we'll see how it goes next year.
All right. Alex, you said yes?
Yeah. I
Jim?
think it's successful.
Jim?
I don't know what to tell you about Josh Allen.
How about the Jaguars?
I think the Jaguars need. I kind of figured they were going to botch it. Like I think they need another shot at it next year. I think they need to get some consistency. I have an issue with the Cons owning this team. I just don't think they are prepared for the longevity. And I think that like when they make it, they're like, we made it, and that's where it stops. And that's not to say like the Steelers. I don't want to compare that. I think like I think they're okay with just getting there. I don't think they're built for the long haul of the playoffs. And I think that's an ownership issue there.
All right. Should the Jaguars hold their heads up high?
They're gonna.
Yeah. No,
Are we talking about the press conference?
Yeah, we're getting into the press
pissed
conference,
off.
Jim.
That's gonna make me super mad.
So let's just do it. Laughable, not necessarily with what was said, but laughable at how this came out after the fact and the absolute grandstanding and high horsing of sports media, in my opinion. We had a reporter, I believe her name was Lynn something.
It was Lynn. I don't know her last name.
Yeah. Who took about 25 seconds and said, you know what, Liam Cohen, we appreciate what you did with the team this year. You have a reason to, be applauded, commended, hold your head up high. We think that better things are to come. Right? Nice little sound bit, for the Jaguars, their season, and to get the support from the local media. And, I think that's probably reflected in the local population as well.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, everybody, you took 25 seconds away. This is not what sports journalism is. This isn't what we should be using press conferences for. This is never how this should go. So I think this is where Jim has something to say.
Yeah, like I don't typically just outright agree with Pat McAfee, but like I outright agree with Pat McAfee. Like 25 seconds. What time did she take? You have a byline to make. It's Twitter, baby. Like your outdated newspaper or your outdated blog that nobody's going to read can wait 25 seconds. Like we need, in general, more positivity in life. This woman brought some positivity and you're going to shit on her. You're the reason we need more positivity. Like, I don't care. Shut up. Get the back seat. Like, let her have her moment. Let Jacksonville have its moment. Like, I don't care.
Right. Instead of asking the same reporters asking the same 3 questions in different ways, which are all meant to get a negative soundbite and get somebody to say something that isn't consistent so they can say, gotcha.
And even, let's take the other side of the coin just for a second. And this is going to be, Muff, this is not one of those clippable moments for you. But like, let's take the other side of the coin. She says all that. Is that not an opportunity to see what he's going to do? like he has an opportunity to be there to say like, I appreciate that, but we need to work harder. He has an opportunity to act awkward because that's a question or a time where that's never happened. We get to see the human respond to something he's never had happen before. Like we get an inside look at a coach being complimented. Piss off.
Unless you win the Super Bowl, you don't get that.
Right. I want to see that humanistic side so we can see how a coach reacts to positivity. That's real, baby. That's reality TV. Give it to me. And you're going to say that's a waste? Coach, on the third down play, what was your decision made? Why did you choose to go for it on fourth down? Like, I see that every day. And you think that answer he's giving us is real? He doesn't even remember.
Or
he's giving you a canned answer to your question. This was a real question, a real moment, and he's on the spot.
Where the Aaron Rodgers just get up and be done because they ask you a repeat question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the injury report on Tom? He hasn't even talked to the doctor yet. So he's going to be like, well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to talk to the professionals. And like, what are you waste of time? Get out of here. I'm pissed. That's going to make me so mad. I had forgotten about it, Muff.
Oh, no, I had not. Nemi, Alex, any thoughts on that whole situation?
No, I agree with Jim, his sentiments. Just I think it was a good season for Jacksonville. They've had some down years. Let a compliment be shed and move on. It's not that big of a deal.
Yep, nothing from me.
All right, Bears-Packers. The Bears take them down. Bear down. Win 31-27. That scored the Packers 25-6 in the fourth quarter to pull out another comeback improbable victory and prompted Ben Johnson to have another brief handshake with Matt LaFleur midfield. It was a progression of handshakes that lasted less and less time each game this year. Obviously, Ben Johnson has, from the beginning, talked about wanting to beat LaFleur, beat the Packers, and has peacocked his way and backed it up on the field in this particular situation. So for the Bears, another comeback victory. Caleb Williams, not just the truth this year, but in years into the future. Nemi, what do you think about Caleb Williams now?
I don't think he looked like the future in the first half, but in the second half, he figured it out. So, just like all the other younger quarterbacks, there's going to be inconsistent play until they, get into their prime, I guess you can call it. So, he's up and down. He can run. He can throw. He's got a good arm and, take some sacks. I think he'll be fine. He's definitely an NFL starting quarterback. Trust me. I'm from Cleveland, so I see NFL starting quarterbacks, and Caleb Williams would be one of our best we've had in a long time. So he's definitely an NFL starting quarterback. And, yeah, I think they'll be good. Ben Johnson stuff, he said everyone loves a good rivalry, so he's kind of, making that rivalry. And you see his post-game presser? Or not presser, but post-game, locker room speech, and he was like, fuck the Bear! Fuck the Packers! And I was like, dude, that's sick. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. They all kind of were yelling, fuck the Packers. So, anyway, I thought it was pretty good, and I was rooting for the Bears to win that game. So, LaFleur never wins either. So, I don't know. I guess they said they're trying to extend him or something, but I don't know. What's he ever won?
Yeah, that is part of it. Jordan Love, good stat line, 323, 4 touchdowns, no INTs. Obviously, the Packers were without a key piece on the defensive side of the ball. Once Micah Parsons went down, I think that impact was definitely felt in the latter parts of the season. So we'll see, right, what happens with Matt LaFleur, what happens in the offseason for the Packers, but definitely a disappointing end to their season. Any final thoughts on that game?
No, the Packers were one of the teams that I thought most limped into the playoffs, and I think it showed in the second half. Kind of at first I was like, maybe they've kind of figured it out, but I think the Bears are better than we think. So I'm excited to see what they do.
All right, 49ers 23, Eagles 19. 49ers pull off the upset over the Eagles. But at what cost? As George Kittle goes out with an Achilles injury. Eagles have another pedestrian offensive performance highlighted by Saquon Barkley with 100-plus rushing yards. That's about all you can say about their offense for the day. Sirianni and A.J. Brown, get into it a little bit on the sidelines. What do we think if we had to give a 1 to 2 sentence synopsis of the Eagles season? How would that go, Alex?
Disappointing because they can't figure out how to function as a unit.
Okay. Jim?
That summed it up beautifully.
Demi?
I think they need to blow it up. It doesn't work. A lot of talent, a lot of head cases, a lot of money, a lot of contracts. It worked for a year, mind you. They've only really been good for that year. They weren't great before. They weren't great after 1 year. I think you got too many egos going on. You got to change something up. Whether it's the coach or the players, I don't know, but got to change something up.
Yeah. My synopsis is forced culture does not translate to long-term success. And I think
Do you think Kelsey played a role in that, holding it all together, that we just didn't realize?
Jason Kelsey.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely a leader
Yeah,
on that. And
Veteran leader. You lose those, and you lose the locker room, and everyone acts like clowns. That's honestly like what it seems like. Why is, there was the most dysfunctional team this year for sure. People yelling and shit at each other, and they're successful.
I think Hurts is not good. I think he's held up by others.
I'd take him in Cleveland.
I take him in Pittsburgh.
Give me a starting quarterback in the NFL that you wouldn't take today, Demi.
Right.
Try Kyler Murray.
Fair.
Okay. Is that because he's hurt or because you don't want him?
I don't want another 5. We have Dylan Gabriel. We don't need another 5'6", 140-pound guy running around that can't see over the line.
All right, that's fair. How about with the 49ers? What do we think their chances are going forward without George Kittle?
I don't think they're as bad as everybody thinks. I don't think it's doom and gloom.
I don't love him even with George Kittle.
I agree with that. I agree with that too.
So
I don't think they're any good, and they beat the Eagles, so I don't know anything.
That is true. There is there talk of who Fred Warner has been practicing again? Is that who it is, or is it the other guy? I forget.
Alex, let's hear your take on that. What was his injury, and how is he already back from that?
The Achilles or Fred Warner?
Fred Warner.
I'm not sure what his injury was, if I'm being honest.
So I'll look. It was some kind of dislocated ankle or something, I think.
Oh, well, I mean, if he didn't break anything.
So on October 12th, he dislocated and fractured his right ankle. On October 12th.
It would depend what he fractured. I mean, dislocating is one thing. Get that put back into place. If he fractured his fibula, which is the little bone off to the side, that's not a weight-bearing bone. It's more like for stability. So I could see where that you're still looking at least 8 weeks, I would think. But
that's about where we're at. He did it on October 12th, and
it's reasonable. I would guess he's probably not at full strength, and he's probably getting a little support. But if, like I said, if it was if he didn't really tear anything, you know what I mean? So
all right, and the Sunday, I think that is. He had said if we make a playoff run, I want to be playing. Like I think right off the bat, he said that, and everyone's like, "Come on now, just calm down, bud." Like,
yeah, it's definitely a quick return, and he probably shouldn't be playing for his long-term benefit. But
Yep. In the Sunday nightcap, we had the Patriots take down the Chargers, 16-3. Can't get anything going on offense. Patriots, I'm using the word plod their way to a win because they weren't necessarily the most impressive either, but a win is a win. Solid Drake May performance. The foot of Andres Borregales gets them over the top in this one. Chargers have 207 total yards. Herbert, again, running for his life. Yikes, yikes, and yikes. Another example where we need to do not some reassessing at the Chargers offensive line, but they got to figure out a way to stay healthy.
But
that's always the Chargers.
Always the situation.
Jim, you know too well.
Always the situation.
From the Patriots, what can we take away from this from them? Is this you got it done, move on, or are there any concerns?
I think there is some concern. I don't know. Honestly, I would, if I'm looking at it through the Ohio State lens that I always look at it through, the sky's falling. Like, what the hell? But I watched a lot more NFL than I ever have this weekend. And I could say it could just be that's Drake May's first playoff game. And it'll shake itself out now that he's got it under his belt.
I think I stand more on that side than the sky is falling side.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my take too. I think there were some jitters. I think there was some like unsettledness because it's a playoff game, and I think now that one has been completed, it will help.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
I'm not sold on how good they really are. Their strength of schedule this year, mind you, you got to win 14 games in the NFL. Every week in the NFL is tough, but they did not play a very hard strength of schedule, so they haven't been tested besides the Steelers and the Bills.
Man, I'm so tired of hearing that argument, though.
I know that I'm just taking that. That's my take, is that I don't think they're tested, and I'm not sure that they're as good as people think. So I guess we'll see.
Who
again.
would you have them run into to say, "Yep, they're tested"? Like, who would you have seen them play? And I'm not trying to be a dick. It's coming off that way. I apologize, but who would you have had them play and been like, "Yeah, they were tested"?
Well, not the Giants and the Jets and the Dolphins and the Saints and the Titans and the Browns and the Falcons.
I mean, so
who they play this week?
I said they lost to the Steelers, but they beat the Bills. I said that was a good win, but again, they just haven't been through a gauntlet of a schedule this year. So they had some easy wins, kind of. But again, I guess no win is easy in the NFL. You got to come every week, no matter what. But I just don't think they're that good. And the Chargers are beat up, didn't have an O-line. Sounds like I'm making excuses, but we'll see what they're really made of against the Texans. Mind you, Texans are going to be shorthanded probably with no Nico Collins. So
right. So when if they beat the Titans or Texans rather, with a short Nico Collins, man, I can't talk tonight. They're going to say the same damn thing.
Yeah, probably.
They'll say that, yes, you can say that from the defensive side. If their offense is impressive against the Texans and wins, then you can say their offense balled out against the top defense in the league. We cannot discredit their offensive output throughout the year because what they just did in this game. Now, if it's a close game and it's low scoring and the Texans just can't get the ball moving, that's going to be the out that people use.
I'm picking on Nemi, and sorry, Nemi, you just triggered me because Noah has shit on the Patriots every week saying the same damn thing, and I'm really tired of hearing Noah say it. And Nemi, you just happen to pull his argument out, so I'm sorry, Nemi.
It's fair. I'm just saying I want them to prove it to me. They want them to prove it. And if they keep winning, I guess that's proving. No matter who they play or whatever, it's proving. So
that's fair.
But no, I don't think they can win the Super Bowl this year. No.
There you go. A big takeaway from this week, especially as we're going to be doing some betting here later in the first 5 games of NFL Wildcard Weekend, the public was victorious. 60% of the bettors were on the right side. I think that's the first time that's happened since midway through the NFL season where you had a majority of the games, the public was on the right side. So all of that being said, wherever the public is this week, you may as well just go the other way.
Great.
Not going to happen 2 weeks in a row, I bet. All right, which sets up the divisional round matchup Saturday. We have the Bills at the Broncos. I found this interesting, just the way the scheduling played out. The Bills coming into this one on a short week, right?
Don't the Bills always get screwed that way? Didn't that happen last year?
I don't remember. That may be the case. I just don't recall.
I kind of think like they run that into that with Kansas City like the last couple of years. Well, it wasn't last year, the year before. I think the Bills always kind of get the shaft.
Yeah. Then we have the 49ers at the Seahawks and the nightcap on Saturday. 49ers coming in on a short week. So you have both the number 1 seeds getting teams off short weeks. So we'll see how that plays out. And maybe that's part of the NFL's scheduling strategy is the number 1 seed gets an additional bit of help coming into this one. On Sunday, we have the Texans at the Patriots. Texans coming in off a short week. which was discussed in the Monday Night Football broadcast, right? Why are you playing Monday Night Football games in the playoffs if you're going to bring these teams in off a short week and play another team that also played the weekend prior? Just cut out the Monday night game, Saturday, Sunday, and just figure out a way to make this happen.
Yeah. 3-3.
Hopefully the NFL bye week teams do better than the college football bye week teams.
There we go. And then in the Sunday, in the late afternoon, early evening game, 6:30, the Rams at the Bears. Both teams in this case are getting an extra day of rest because they both played on Saturday.
That's what I mean. I'm with you. I don't understand this at all. And I will say, I know you're joking about the college football thing, but I mean, 1 bye week is a lot different than like 8 bye weeks. They had a lot more downtime than 1 bye week.
And they're younger. We got some grown ass 30-plus-year-old men trying to, recover, and they need that week.
Not kids just sitting in their dorm room trying to figure out what video game to play today.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So we have the coaching carousel in the NFL right now. I do not think anybody has been named a head coach in the past few hours since I looked, but we have almost a third of the league looking for new head coaches this offseason. The total, or the list, the full list is Steelers, Ravens, Browns. So we have 3 in the AFC North, Giants, Falcons, Titans, and then Raiders, Dolphins, Cardinals. We have any thoughts on who the first team or the first teams we think are going to get this done?
Sounds like Giants and Harbaugh is a pretty serious situation, but I don't know if they'll be the first because Harbaugh is not taking interviews this week. So, but Dable, I guess, called Harbaugh and said Jackson Dart would be a perfect fit for you, and because he's trying to sell the job to Harbaugh. Why? I don't know, but I don't know. Looks like that sounds like that's like a pretty likely scenario.
Maybe
saw something today that said Mike McDaniel is probably going to be the coach of the Browns. I don't know if it's true or not.
That sounds terrible.
I don't know if I like that. I don't think it makes much sense, but whatever.
Does Brian Dable get like an employee referral bonus? Is that what he's shooting for?
I don't know what that's.
Well, I was thinking like maybe he's afraid that Harbaugh is going to get a different job that he wants. So he's like, if I hurry up and sell him to the Giants, then whatever other job he wanted, he can have. You know what I mean? Like, get rid of some competition.
Yeah. Or him and Jackson Dart are boys, and Jackson's like, dude, I want John Harbaugh to coach my team. Go tell him. And he's like, all right, Jackson, I'll hook you up.
That's reasonable.
Could be it. All right, Jim, any thoughts on that?
None at all. I don't.
All right. I look at those teams to get it done quickly. I think the Ravens will find a way to get it done quicker than maybe some of the others, just because they have a franchise quarterback there. I think it's at least an attractive job that's going to get a lot of suitors quickly. So yeah, I'm on that.
But does Lamar have to sign off?
I'm sure he does, but I don't think Lamar also wants to sit there and not sign off for 3, 4, 5 weeks and then have the rest of the right. I think he wants to make sure they get a high quality up and comer or somebody that has an established career to take them to the next step in Baltimore.
Like, I think that the Steelers' job is attractive. It's just like right now, A, it's the freshest, and B, I think that the Steelers have a more like drawn out process usually than.
Well, the Steelers' job is never open. It's such a weird job to be open. It's been what? Tomlin's been there for 19 years, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Like the Browns' job's open every 4 to 5 years.
That's what I mean. Like, so they're just good at it. Like they're just good
they know. But the Steelers' job, like, not to say you have to like fit the culture because we were just talking about trying to flip the culture, but like.
But you do a little bit. Like that's kind of what I'm talking about, like that vetting process of making sure like this is our guy. Because I feel like they're not looking to hire someone who they think is going to be out in a year.
Yeah.
We will see. Definitely more to come in that in the weeks to come. It brings us into the college football playoff. All right, I know we're a little late on all of this, but we have the semifinal action. We had Miami beating Ole Miss 31-27. Outscore Ole Miss by 3 in the first and fourth quarters, which is ultimately the difference in the game. Miami has 191 rushing yards. I do want to go straight to the end here. The last play of the game, Ole Miss, Trinidad Chambliss with a throw from about the 35 in the end zone. Much debate, much controversy on if this was truly a pass interference call that should have been made. Alex, I know you have strong thoughts on this.
My gut originally was like, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, that's pass interference, blah, blah, blah. And the more I've listened to, the more I have kind of come off it and been like, how often do you see pass interference called on a Hail Mary? It's just not a thing. And the more I listen to Nate talk about timing of calls in games, I think maybe the no call was right after some reflection. Let him play.
I don't think you can call that there. There'd be a like if he did grab him, I guess, but like he didn't like tackle him or something. I don't know.
It would have been a riot the other way.
Yeah, it would have just imagine it. Well, I guess in college it's a 15-yard penalty only, so redoing it from what would have been 20-yard line or something instead.
Yeah, it'd have been around the 20, 15.
Yeah, maybe that's fine, but like NFL, that'd be miserable placing the ball on the goal line. But.
Yeah. I was of a similar thought of, you swallow the whistle there unless it is absolutely egregious. Somebody tackles somebody is grabbing them, you see the jersey pull, somebody is obviously in a position where they could have made the catch. That's how I feel. I don't think that you make that call unless, as Nate says, you have to make that call, right? There's no debate as to whether or not you should have put a flag down. Jim, thoughts there?
I think it was a get even from 2002 when Miami got screwed on a pass interference. Or at least they thought they got screwed on a pass interference against Ohio State. I think the fix is in, baby.
So the fix was in for Ohio State back then?
Well,
that's different. Got it.
That's different. Got it. We have two different thoughts here. In the Peach Bowl last week, we had Indiana absolutely destroying Oregon 56-22. Rematch not as good as the first meeting.
There's a police report out.
For AJ Ferrari, got it. Yeah. He's
for the absolute mugging that Indiana put on Oregon. I've never turned away a game like I turned that one off. Leave them alone. They don't know nothing. Like that was a beating.
Tell you one thing, Cignetti's a problem.
Yeah.
Like to Ohio State, it's a problem.
Yeah.
He's getting transfers. He's getting high quality 5-star transfers. Before he was just getting. So this Indiana team is just loaded with 50-year players. Like they're just older. He doesn't have the 5-star 19-year-olds. He's got the 3-star 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds that are obviously buying into what he's selling and playing at a high level. Well, now this portal he got 5 stars, so it's kind of scary.
But I think it's going to flip on its head. I think not quickly, but I think he showed a formula that schools are catching on to. And in Columbus, the sky's falling on its head. Ohio State, what are we going to do? We're losing people in the portal. But slowly Columbus is doing the same thing he did. And they're signing in the portal guys with experience now.
Yep.
I think he's a genius, but I hope he doesn't take those 5 stars and do the opposite now. I think should stick to what he's done. I think that this shows the 5 stars are not what you need necessarily.
No, look at Texas. They had 5 stars out the ass. Terrible. The 5 stars have talent, but they got to buy in to what you're selling. They got to be teammates. They can't just slack off and whatever. They have to buy what you're selling. And those 3 stars that he has this year are 100% bought in.
Look at Miami.
Yeah.
Look at all these teams that are in the playoffs now. They're not rocking a huge super squad of 5 stars.
No.
I think he found the formula. I just hope he doesn't change it.
Yeah, other teams will catch on though. Now instead of battling for 5 stars, they'll be battling for the 23-year-old 3-star DN that's been to 5 schools. and hope he can be successful. So I don't know, we'll see.
See if we can get a degree too.
Yeah. The worst one is, speaking of
College.
that, TJ Finley. Does that ring a bell for anybody?
I saw something, but I forget all the ins and outs of that.
He went from LSU to Auburn to Texas State to Tulane to Western Kentucky to Georgia State to Incarnate Word. Yeah. That's not the guy Signetti's looking for.
No, that's not the 5th year, 6th year guy you want. So obviously we have Heisman Mendoza did his thing in this game. So we have now the matchup Indiana versus Miami, Florida, where we are going to see how well this trench warfare situation plays out on the biggest stage. Are we going to see points, or are we going to see a defensive struggle with some long drives that end in field goals? I don't know, but I am here for every bit of it because this is the type of national championship game I love to see. And I know it's not maybe the best, at least on paper, in the way that's going to play out to a national audience, but this is the game that I love.
Yep. This isn't Ohio State versus Texas. Spread it out. Get your receivers the ball in space and see who can run the touchdown the fastest. This is going to be hard-hitting football in the trenches.
I think it's going to be fun. I'm excited about it.
I'm excited for it, too.
All right, so some other college football talk. Anybody here if Paul Feinbaum's going to be taking a page out of some other playbooks and maybe moving out of the country?
I wish Feinbaum would leave the fucking planet.
So he cited that if no SEC teams made the college football playoff national championship preseason, that he would move out of the country.
Bye, Felicia.
See you later.
Jim, would you like make travel plans to help him pack if this came to be?
I'd help pay for the movers. I'm almost 40, man. Like, no. I ain't moving shit, but I'll pay for it.
I figured you'd want some FaceTime with Paul Feinbaum, given all the shit you talk on him.
I hate him.
All right.
Maybe
I was gonna say we're gonna have some transfer portal highlights, but to be honest, I have no idea where to start. There's a whole bunch of shit going on. No one knows how it's gonna end up. What team, what conference, what the NCAA will or will not do.
We almost have to wait till the Gunsmoke settles.
It's a full-time job.
Facebook doesn't help at all. If I see one more damn fan page, and I don't just mean Ohio State, Tennessee, Texas, Ohio State, probably the 3 worst offenders of this guy's leaving. We might sign this guy. I heard this guy. No, that guy. Shut up. Shut up. You don't know shit.
All I do know is that players are getting paid. At an potentially alarming rate. Speaking of players transfer portal and people that won't be in the portal, Trinidad Chambliss Ole Miss denied his additional year of eligibility due to the way that medical reporting or injury reporting was not done based on a previous injury where it was noted as part of his recovery that he was doing, quote unquote, very well. And with this, no other accompanying documentation about his medical situation was available, and that was the reasons that they cited. The only thing that was cited was that in 2022-2023, his developmental needs and our team's competitive circumstances were part of the reason that came with some of the notes as to why he didn't play. So I don't know why they thought that this was going to get through.
Yeah, they made it sound like it was going to be like fine. Like I thought it was kind of like they were going to appeal it. It was going to go through. It was going to be great, but it seems like that's not the case.
Denied.
Absolutely denied. All right, let's move into some other interesting news in sports before we get into some betting.
Interesting news in sports.
In the basketball world, LeBron James gets a commemorative 23 patch on his jersey for playing in his 23rd season. This is very odd that this happened mid-season, in a season, where he's one game away of not playing to even be eligible for any postseason awards.
Get out of here. Go sit down, LeBron.
I'm a LeBron guy, but that's because he brought a championship here. So,
Well, you're supposed to be. You're
Yeah.
gonna pass.
mind you, I wasn't a LeBron guy when he left, but then I fell in love even more when he came back. So now he's all good in my book. Politics aside, he's good in my book.
All right, Alex, you found this. Why not you talk about it? Trae Young.
So Trae Young got traded away. Basically, my computer's not loading my notes, so I don't have the note there specifically. But what it boiled down to was they did the math, and basically they were more productive when he was not on the floor. So they traded him away, got some new guys in, and they're now speculating that is Trae Young kind of done from the article I read. He's a veteran talent, but not someone to really build a team around.
And they traded for him and then said he's not even playing the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Right. Yikes, and yikes. It's my first high-profile trade of the NBA season, so only more will come that we know. If we know anything about the NBA, they will find the headlines from the end of football season onward.
Cavs need to make a move, I'll tell you that. I
Huh?
went to the game last night, and they lost to the tanking Jazz by 11 at home, and they were pretty much fully healthy. So they're going to need to make some moves quickly.
There it is. Moving on to collegiate wrestling. Penn State breaks the all-division dual meet consecutive win record with 78 after blanking Rutgers last weekend. They will be facing Iowa this upcoming weekend in a top 5 matchup. The highest profile dual meet of the season. Jim, there's some Ohio State news.
Wait. Hold the fuck on. What did you just call it? What was the last sentence out of your mouth?
The first
In the highest profile dual meet?
The first
Okay.
high profile top 5 matchup of the season.
I was gonna get hot. But okay, the first that's fine. I'll allow it.
It's
I'll
true.
allow it. Okay. So, did you watch that dual meet?
Which one?
The Penn State Rutgers?
I did.
Penn State's nasty.
I agree.
Nasty. Do you think Cale Sanderson even coaches?
Yes, I do think he coaches, but I also think he just goes in and rolls on the mat with everybody and is like, "Hey, you want to know how I became great? Just spend 5 minutes with me. You'll see."
Yeah, I don't think he coaches. I think he's just like, yes, I am great. We are great. Fuck with us. But no, it was a great just showing. Ohio State blanked Indiana. I just put it in the chat because it seems like you just like to show off one team, and I thought, well, I better compete here. I think Ohio State, when they go against Penn State, is also going to be a good match. Ohio State this year is not a slouch. They have some dogs as well. I'm interested in that, and that I believe is in the next couple weeks.
It's either before the end of January or at the beginning of February, one of the two.
I think it's the week of my birthday. I'm pretty sure, Muff. Pretty sure. So, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ohio State's in Indiana, that was a top 20 matchup, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get it done. In women's collegiate wrestling, Division 3, North Central knocked off Iowa in the NWCA national duels last week, 23-21. This was making some headlines because Iowa was seen and has been viewed as the benchmark, the end-all be-all of women's collegiate wrestling, and you have a D3 team that takes them down. So the women's collegiate wrestling pool is deep, and it spans all classifications right now.
In other wrestling news for the Ohio Valley, for the first time in 72 years, the Ohio Valley tournament will have full-blown girls wrestling. And I'm messing up the stats. 95 girls from, I believe, 27 schools will participate in OVAX, I believe, as their own division in the Ohio Valley Athletic Conference Wrestling Tournament. It's very historic.
100%. Is
So-
and I don't at the high school level, do they do freestyle or folk style?
Folk style.
Okay. Because at the collegiate level, it's all freestyle. That's why I was curious at how
Yeah.
it translated.
And I'm not, Nemi, I don't know. One, you're not a wrestling dude, right?
No.
Two, like, you're not from the valley.
Nope.
So when I was a wrestler in the Ohio Valley, and this kind of just dates it a little bit. Girls in wrestling was like, no, that was never going to be a thing. And we're talking like 20 years ago ish. Yeah. Never going to be a thing. Then it started like within the last 5 to 10 years. Like there were whispers of it being a thing. 2 years ago, my high school got a team. And it was like, oh, cool. I would say 6 years ago, there was a girl that, and she's a state placer, state champion, I think last year from Steubenville. And I was like, girl, Ohio Valley. And I moved out here, and like girls wrestling out here in Columbus is taking off just as fast as the collegiate thing. So I was like, this is cool. But the Ohio Valley has always kind of been slow to catch up to it. So to read in the newspaper or read on the Facebook, like 95 girls to wrestle in the OVAX, that's like groundbreaking. Like that's huge for the Ohio Valley, huge for those high schools. Like the Ohio Valley's come a long way. That's fantastic. So kudos to the Ohio Valley because that's amazing. Because that was something like literally 20 years ago. No, not going to happen. So cool. Just wanted to shout that out.
There we go. And you'll be front and center to take that
Yeah,
in,
buddy.
right, Jim?
Yep, I'll be there.
All right. And last, probably certainly least at this point, golf. Brooks Koepka gets out. I was waiting for that. So this is not just a Shadur thing, Nemi. Jim does this periodically with other athletes as well.
Yeah.
Koepka gets out of his final year of his LIV contract. The PGA Tour reinstates him to play this upcoming season. And then shortly thereafter, the PGA Tour releases some rules on how to address this type of situation when it comes to players that have their cards, who's going to get spots in tournaments, how they're going to expand fields, or they'll only be able to compete if the fields are expanded, or they get sponsor exemptions. So if you're asking me, everybody's gearing up for this whole LIV PGA merger and those two leagues to fully operate under one umbrella, for good or for bad.
I'm pretty big into the golf.
LIV feels dead.
What's that?
LIV is dead.
I'm pretty big into the golf stuff. Play a lot of like DraftKings, PGA, and stuff. So I follow a lot of it. Not anytime soon will LIV and PGA be one and the same. They did say they created a rule for 4 people only, because they made it where you had to have won a major in the last 4 years to come back, basically. And you know who won a major in the last 5 years was Phil Mickelson. So they cut it off at 4, so he couldn't come back. Mind you, I don't think he would have, but they don't want him back. Anyway, all the qualifications, only 4 people qualified, and it's Cam Smith, who just said no today. Brooks, who said sure, or that's the whole reason this is in. Brooks. Bryson said no, not this year, because he has 1 year left on his deal. And John Rahm said no thanks. But John Rahm, I believe, still has like 3 or 4 years left on his, so he wasn't trying to burn a bridge, even though I think he's the most likely to come back. Cam Smith, he seems fine what he's doing. And Bryson, I think Bryson can always do the LIV, and he's big into the YouTube golf stuff, so he can do that while on LIV, and I think that's kind of where he's at with that. So John Rahm would be the one I think would come back, but of those 4. But
of those
obviously,
4, right?
What's that?
I said of those 4.
Of those 4, yeah. Obviously, Bryson's saying this year. All he said was this year, so I'm sure this is supposed to end February 2nd and be a one-time thing. They'll probably bring it up every year because they'll change the rules every year and it'll suit different players, and there'll be a select 5 that maybe can come back if they want. So they'll be trying to get talent back to the PGA Tour every year.
I feel like what little I know of golfers, Bryson seems like he wants to be wherever the fewest rules are. Like if he can do like YouTube video stuff more easily by being in live golf, like he'd rather just do that at this point.
Yeah, he enjoys. He looks like he enjoys that more than actual live tournaments because live tournaments are a joke. So,
all right, we're transitioning now into sports stuff, betting stuff.
Oh boy.
Ka-chow. We've been here for a while. No reason for more introductions, but let us remind the viewers of our totems, our tokens, our items of good luck. Let us start this week with me. My Sugarlands hat, signed by the Moonshiners, telling me to shine on. Let's go next to Alex.
I have, after a decent week, the green flag of victory. Really, nothing's winning right now, but I got to stick with it at this point.
All right, Jim.
Gotta find them. Hold on. My 3 gold coins, my magic genie lamp, and my hat, the Ohio State hat with the Ohio State flag on the belt.
All right, Nemi.
first place softball trophy, base is secured. Bets haven't been great, but we're going to continue. We're not going to change it this late in the game. Maybe I'll choose 5 different items next year or something, like Jim has 3.
All right, and we have an exclusive betting app. It is FanDuel.
FanDuel.
What is it?
We're just really phoning it in because it's at the tail end. That's not really cool, guys. It's FanDuel.
Alex, FanDuel.
I said, what is it, FanDuel?
I feel like Alex might be in a Nate situation. Might be
cutting out.
timing out on us.
Oh, no.
Am I? No, I don't think I'm timing out.
Uh-oh.
I'm here. I'm trying to get the notes for betting up.
Jim, is Alex here?
Everything's
He's here.
He's here, but the mouth.
I'm here.
The mouth's not. I hear sound, but I don't see much video anymore.
I'm here.
Oh, Alex is here. Don't worry, Alex. We're just playing with you. All right, let's get straight into last week's breakdown of our best bets. I was victorious this past week. 6-2 record, bringing my overall record to 69-74 for a 483 winning percentage. I started out like a house on fire, as I had Miami to cover, Indiana to cover, the Panthers plus the 10.5, and the Bears plus the 1.5. Started 4-0. Was like, could the unthinkable happen? And I get the perfect week. And then the Bills Jags did not go over by the hook. The 49ers Eagles did not go over by a short amount as well. But I picked it back up. Won my last 2s. The Patriots to cover 3.5 and the Texans Steelers under 38.5. Good week for me. Good week. Next we had Alex.
Yeah, I had a decent week. It was nice to have a winning week, 5-3. I had Ole Miss plus 3.5 versus Miami. That was a loss. My other losses were the Bills Jags over 51.5 and the Steelers Texans over 38.5. My 5 victories were Indiana minus 3.5 versus Oregon, Panthers plus 10.5 versus the Rams, Bears plus 1.5 versus the Packers, 49ers plus 4.5 of the Eagles, and the Patriots minus 3.5 versus the Chargers. Brought my overall record for the year to 56-61 and 479 winning percentage.
Next we had Jim.
2-2. I lost both the college games, but I hit the Texans game. Texans minus 3 at the Steelers, and I hit the Patriots game minus 3.5 against the Chargers.
Bringing Jim's overall record to do 62, 50, and 2 for a 544 winning percentage.
I just didn't want to brag. Trying to be humble.
I mean, your winning percentage went down.
I don't know how that could be.
Because if you go 500 in perpetuity, it will ultimately be a 500 winning percentage.
Whatever, math man.
Nemi?
I was 1-2 on the week, bringing my record to 57-56 with a 504 winning percentage. So we're still above 500. which is obviously the goal. But I had my winner was Oregon, Indiana over 48.5. Believe Oregon or Indiana covered that by themselves. And then I had the Rams minus 10.5. They almost lost. That wasn't good. And the Jags plus 1.5, and they lost to the Bills. So 1 and 2 on the week.
All right, get into our specialty picks. Starting first with you, Mike. I'll start hit stick pick of the week.
Pow, pow, pow.
Pow, 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 pow. Mike Tyson throwing uppercuts. We took the Patriots to cover 3.5 against the Chargers, and that's a win. Bringing the hit stick pick to 12-8 for the season. There was a time this year where we were worried, concerned, and feeling some fear about what may happen, but we have righted the ship. 12-8. I would say that is profitable if we were to look at the units, which we don't do in this particular situation. So good on us. In the swift kick to the kill trap dick risky pick of the week,
Shake it off. Shake it off.
we put our money behind the Bears hosting the Packers as a moneyline dog, and we are victorious. Bringing the risky pick to 10-10 for the year. 100% profitable.
Sweet.
It's a moneyline dog each week. There's no way that is not profitable. In the Buddy Lay Parlay,
Yippee.
3 of the 5 won. The hit stick pick won. The Bears plus 1.5 won. And the Texans to cover 3 against the Steelers won. We had the Rams minus 10.5 in there. The Panthers, it was a loser. And the Bills Jags over 51.5, which was a loser. Bring the Buddy Lay to 1-19 for the year.
Not profitable.
I think it was about 20 units up. So we're like right on the cusp.
I was going to say, actually, closer than you would think.
All right. So we'll hit this week.
That's the hope. And then Jim's Super Dog.
Super duper.
It was jinxed.
It was not jinxed.
It was
I
jinxed
forgot about that.
by Muff.
It might have been.
It was not. It was by no means anywhere near
Yeah,
the jinx that you put on picks.
That'd be
But
the
yet
worst
jinxed.
jinx.
I did not jinx it. I merely
there's
said that it
levels.
was a live dog, and then you made a statement, and things went downhill.
Here's the thing. You don't get to say my emotional support human will have the final say. Nemi, was it
So-
jinxed?
Muff, are you arguing that there's levels to the jinxing, or are we just straight saying
No, I'm saying I didn't jinx it, but if Jim's going to say I jinxed it, I'm going to say it's nowhere near the level that he did.
Okay. We'll go with nowhere near the level Jim did because Jim called it a win and it lost. Things were going great and Muff opened his mouth and then things went the wrong way. So we'll call it a jinx, but we'll call Jim's the worst jinx.
Thank you.
That's all he wanted.
All right. We have no marathons this week, so we're going to get straight into the limited slate we have. 5 games to look at in the NFL and college football. First, in the NFL, we start with the Saturday games. The Bills favored by 1.5 at the Broncos, over under 46.5.
Before we do this, what is the rules for how many games one has to take this week?
1, probably 1 or 2. You
I
have to at least take something.
I think it's 2. I think we've said that 1 NFL, 1 college game, and then once there's only NFL games, I think we've said you have to have at least 2 total bets, like to run out the season until we get to the Super Bowl. And the Super Bowl is not included.
I have to bet on the national championship.
I think
No.
that has always been a standard that we have
you
to.
don't.
You have to have a bet in that game.
In honor of Mike Tomlin, the standard is the standard.
That's why I'm asking. Because
Yeah.
I was going to not bet on the national championship game. But if I have to, then that needs to be said.
Yes.
I mean, do we have to bet the Super Bowl when the time comes? The answer is
when
obvious.
we bet the
No,
Super Bowl is its
because we
own
don't.
thing. The Super Bowl is not included in any best bet calculations.
So it ends the week before.
Right. It ends conference championship weekend is our last.
Got it.
Okay. Thank you. Proceed.
Yep. All right. So we have the Bills minus 1.5 at the Broncos over under 46.5. What do you think here, Nemi?
I think short week we were talking about for the Bills on the road in Denver. Josh Allen's a cold weather quarterback. Gonna be a little chilly in Denver this time of year. I just don't trust Bo Nix very well. Broncos got a good defense. Bills lost another receiver that shaved. Did you see that? Terrell Shivers played the second half of the torn ACL, so he's out. So they already don't have any receivers as it is. I don't know. Sounds like Bills in a nasty low scoring game. We'll call it like a, I don't know, maybe like a Bills 20-17 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm 100% on that nasty low scoring game. I'm going to go with the under in this one. Alex?
I was debating because I want to bet all the games. I don't like the line at all. So I was debating between the over under. At one point, I was considering the over, but hearing Nemi talk about it, knowing you're talking about it as well, I think I'm gonna use my brain and go with the under here.
Yeah, I think it'll just be like if you think the Broncos can win, you think the Broncos win, there's a chance it can go over. If you think the Bills win, again, they just don't have any weapons, so it's almost like there has to be some kind of low scoring thing, in my opinion.
I think if the Broncos win, they're gonna win by a lot, but it's still not gonna be like because the Bills are going back and forth. Like the Bills will just get smoked.
Hey, asshat.
Oh, when you cut and paste my bets into your betting slate and I do it back, it sucks, doesn't it?
Put it back.
You stealing my picks. You stole my pick.
That was gonna be my pick, and you just made it easy.
You could have just copied and pasted instead of cutting and pasted, Jim.
I didn't cut.
You did.
Then why did it disappear from my best bets?
You did cut it.
Jim, what do you think about this game? Do you want to just recycle what I just said so you can steal that pick too?
I don't. Yeah, sure. Whatever Muff just said.
All right. In the later game on Saturday, the primetime game, 49ers at Seahawks. Seahawks are by 7 over under 44.5. Jim, what do you think about this game, bud?
Gun to my head, I'd probably take the Seahawks -7.
All right, Alex.
I do not have a gun to my head, but I will be taking the Seahawks -7, and not even just because not even just because I said I was going to bet the rest of the NFL games. I probably would keep this on the slate this week either way.
All right, Nemi.
49ers burned me last week, so I'm going to take a week off from betting their games. I would say the Seahawks win at home, but I guess you never know because I don't know ball.
I mean, you have a winning record this year. I think you know ball.
Yeah, I thought the Eagles, like, the line moved like 3 points last week in the Eagles' favor. Like, I don't know. And San Fran's banged up. They lost Kittle. They still couldn't win. Like, I don't even know. Whatever. Maybe they keep it close again. I don't know. Maybe they win. Who the hell knows?
All right. Nemi doesn't know. 49ers at Seahawks, I'm going to go with the over 44.5 here. Yes, no George Kittle, but there's still a gentleman by the name of Christian McCaffrey sitting back there. Brock Purdy, Sam Darnold, JSN. Give me all the points in this one. Let's do it. Sunday NFL football. Got Texans at the Patriots. Patriots favored by 3 over under 41.5. This is the ultimate what is Jim going to do game.
I know. For best bets, I'm going to stay away. I don't fucking know. Fuck. My heart says bet the Patriots. But like, I don't want to bet against my team. I think I'm going to pull the Alex and stay away.
Fair enough.
If that's not consistent, isn't that a problem?
It is a fucking problem, man.
At least he admits
That's like Alex's thing. Remember when I tried to do that one time and you called me out hard?
I feel very, very. This is the ultimate torn. Like when I saw it, I was like, man.
I think realistically, you've sold your fandom to the Patriots at this point.
I have not. I have not.
If you're that conflicted with this game, I think it's definitely teetering.
Well, I just like betting on the Patriots. I've been riding it so hard this year. But like when I watch the game,
sometimes it's about getting off the wagon, Jim, not staying on it.
When I'm watching the game, even if I had the money on the Patriots, I would still be rooting for the Texans. And that's where I'm torn.
That sounds like
because I win either way. Because then I can walk on the show and be like, "Hey, I won with the Patriots," and then, you know what I mean. Either way, I'm okay. Which is why I think I should just stay away.
You have the ability to stay away in this game, 100%.
I'm gonna stay away.
All right, I'm going to go with the under in this game. Give me that Texans defense holding the Patriots in check. I'm not going to say that C.J. Stroud has a game like he had last week, but without Nico Collins, I think there's definitely going to be some limitations, some guardrails on that Texans offense.
See, I like that too. That was the other thing is I like the under.
That's not taking a side.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take the under.
All right, steal another one of my bets. Just don't cut and
I'm
paste.
gonna. Thanks, bud. You're a great friend.
All right, and in the last game on Sunday, with the Rams favored by 3.5 at the Bears over under 48.5. Nemi, what do you think about this game?
I think it's the best viewing game of the weekend. I don't really have a lean one way or the other, to be honest. Bears seem to have magical second half powers. They keep winning games in the second half. Rams were kind of flat last week. Again, don't trust their defense a lot. So I'm going to stay away, but should be a pretty good football game, hopefully. What I'm looking forward to watching.
Alex?
I am going to be on the Bears in this game. Bears plus 3.5, maybe a money line sprinkle when it comes down to it. Game time, but Bears to cover.
All right, Jim?
Bears plus 3.5.
Yep, me too. Me too. And in the college football playoff national championship game, got Miami, Indiana. Indiana favored by 8.5, over under 47.5. I'm trying to think in recent memory. Is this one of the highest lines?
No.
Spreads, rather.
Spreads, yes.
The national championship?
Spreads, yes.
Probably. I have a preseason Miami 32-1 ticket, and I don't like it, and I can't really hedge off of it because Indiana to win's like minus 300 or something, so it's not even worth hedging.
It's not even worth the cash out? Just to
Uh,
cash it out and take the money and run?
It's an offshore book, so it doesn't offer that. Anyway, so I did place a Miami, Indiana with the Rams to win the NFC. That was like 5 to win $80 of it. So maybe that's a partial hedge, but the Rams need to win 2 more games. So I honestly think that, again, as Jim stated, that was the biggest like bloodbath of all time last week when Indiana played Oregon. But Oregon handed them 14 points in like the first quarter. So
I think it was
they threw a
21.
pick six. What's that?
I think it was 21.
Maybe they handed them 21. There was a pick six, first play of the game, and then they fumbled on their own 5, and they went in.
Yeah.
So like, if Miami doesn't do that, maybe it's a lot better of a game. Maybe Indiana does make a couple mistakes. They haven't made mistakes lately, but maybe they do. Miami's big enough and strong enough in the trenches to stick with them. Carson Beck, I don't trust. He's not very good, but
I can't even say that anymore.
What?
I can't say he's not good. The last
Carson Beck,
games,
his stats are bad. They've been winning football games, but it's on the run. They run for 200 yards a game.
I can't talk shit on the kid.
Well, I would definitely take Mendoza over Carson Beck. So
I can't say that either.
you can't?
Nope.
What?
Wow. Okay.
He's totally sold on this bit that Fernando Mendoza is like the worst thing that has happened since, I don't even want to put things in that category. But
I can hear an argument where he's like part of the system and he fits well, and that's fine. But that's part of the cap to this game. Like I would much rather have him on Indiana than Carson Beck on Miami throwing for 150 yards a game to one player. They have Malachi Toney. That's like all they got. So I'm going to take in Miami just because I have them already straight up. Hopefully they win, but I don't think they will.
All right, Jim?
I have bet against Indiana all playoffs. I'm not getting bet again. You're making me bet this game, so I'm betting for the points. Give me the over.
The system is making you bet this game.
Yes. Give me the over.
All right, Alex?
I think I'm going to take Indiana to cover and the over. At this point,
Ooh.
wing it.
Full send on that game. I'm on the opposite side here. I'm gonna take Miami. Well, I'm with Nemi, I guess. I'm gonna take Miami plus the points. Like I said, I think this is going to be a trenches game, trench warfare, and I think it's going to be within a touchdown. Give me the team that's getting 8 points in a national championship game against
Disrespected.
right, disrespected. Have all the bulletin board material that they could ever ask for. Signetti, yes, coming in with a hot hand, but this is something that neither of these coaches have experienced. So I think there's going to be a little bit of some tense moments through the first quarter and a half of this game.
I can tell you that I will hate whatever person wins. Like, I have reason to hate the whole shooting match. I don't want to see Michael Irvin slap a fucking water cooler.
Yeah.
Cokehead Irvin, you don't want to see that?
Like, I don't want to see it, and I don't want to see Mendoza win. Like, I just don't want to see either one.
Why do you hate Fernando Mendoza so much?
I don't fucking like the kid.
But
why?
Understand that. I love him.
He just sticks in my craw. I'm just not.
But I don't know why. I need to.
I just doesn't feel good. I don't like it.
His interviews annoy me. His interviews look like sound like an AI email where you're like, wow, what is going on in there? You could
Maybe
call
that's
it
just
out.
him.
It sounds like it was pre-scripted or something.
I'm just not a fan.
The funny thing to me is he
He's
reminds
got
me
a bomb ass LinkedIn profile. That's all I'm going to say.
He reminds me a little bit of Muff. And I was about
Oh,
to say that before
the
Muff
wrong
said he had
way.
a
So
bomb
that makes sense.
LinkedIn.
That adds up.
I'm Fernando Mendoza. If I was ever to have that level of athletic talent,
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's like his thought process and the way he thinks things through, and it's very logical. Like, I feel like that's a very Muff personality. Like, him physically and whatever how he talks doesn't remind me of Muff, but his thought process and approach to things, I should say, reminds me of Muff.
Take that as
That
a
makes
compliment,
sense.
Muff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean it is.
approach life with gratitude and support of the people around you, Jim.
And there's
And
just
thinking
moments
a
where you want
lot.
to punch him in the fucking face.
All right, let's get into our specialty picks. First, starting with you, Mike Allstott. Hit stick pick of the week.
Pow 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 pow, Muff in the face.
Do we have anything common
I
here,
thought there
boys?
was the under in the Patriots-Texans game.
We are all on that.
Yeah, I think it natural selection.
I think we just found it without even having to talk about it too much. Nemi had pointed out what it will be. So the hit stick pick will be Texans Patriots under 41.5. In the swift kick to the kill trap, Dick Chris, key pick of the week.
Shake it off. Shake it off.
Bears look like the only team aside from Miami.
Bears good.
Mm,
Miami's more of a super dog.
yeah, I'm going. I
It
don't.
is the super
I'm on
dog.
the other side too, so
There you go.
I'm going Miami or Bears.
All right, there we go. Bears money line is dogs hosting the Rams. Let's not forget that this will be in Chicago.
Shotgun.
All right, in the Buddy Lay parlay, we got the Texans Patriots under 41.5. We go to Nemi next.
Go the Bills. Bills minus 1.5.
All right, Alex.
Give me the Seahawks -7.
All right, Jim.
Give me the Bears.
The Bears.
Alex, you gonna put that in or?
Yeah, literally last week I started doing it, and you
Right,
did it.
That was kind of a dick because this is the one where you do them for us.
Well, no, I don't mind doing it, but last week I went to
No,
do it.
yeah,
and
I agree, but he does this one. He's been called on this before.
Honestly, I've added mine every week.
This is
I've
why
had
he's
an issue.
fucking Mendoza.
I just do it.
I
I just
expect
comply.
perfection from you guys. All right, I'm gonna go with the Bills Broncos under 46.5 in the last leg of the Buddy Lay parlay. this is likely the last week of the Buddy Lay parlay as well.
And that's where me and Alex get to take. Well, no, because it's over.
There's not really enough game. I mean, you could try. I just don't know what you're going to do.
Exactly.
All right. And then Jim Superdog.
Miami, a money line.
Super duper.
Super duper.
Ba-doop-ba.
I need that too. We need that. I need that. Thanks for supporting me emotionally, Jim.
That's why I'm here, buddy.
I want to hit my 32-1 future that I bet a long time ago.
Everybody wants 32-1.
Let's do it.
Everybody wants that. All right, that wraps up this episode of Sports Stuff with Jim and Muff plus Sports Stuff betting stuff. As a reminder, you're at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter.
Wait a minute,
Sports Stuff
does
with
it
Jim and
wrap up
Muff.
the whole show? Like we just did 2 shows,
Yeah.
so it wraps up everything. So now it's a mystery on how you're going to end this show.
Oh, I didn't think about that. So
You can follow us at Sports Jim Muff on Instagram and Twitter. Sports Stuff with Jim Muff on Facebook, on YouTube. Subscribe, comment, rate, review, poke, like, tickle.
Get the bell on.
Ding ding.
And there will be a gold pot at the end of this rainbow. There will be glory at the end of all of the roads, except for the road to 272. And we will find a payday. But in order to do all this, you have to tell a friend, make a friend, be a
Mayday.
friend.